Whoa! That was a trip through time. Okay, so let's see. We've traveled about 3.5 hours into the future. Not really, but it makes it fun. Okay, so what we got going on so far is we've actually cooked down the entire 2 liter of Dr. Pepper, or cherry Dr. Pepper, excuse me. We've cooked that down into what you see going on over here. Let me bring the camera a little closer and give you a view. It's gonna get a little shaky for a minute. Here you go, here. Here's what we got going on. You saw how full it was before. We actually added that other quarter of the 2 liter of cherry Dr. Pepper, and we've cooked that down. Okay, so what else we've got going on so far is that's the pan soaking from the roasted potatoes.
Whoa.
Here's our cut eggs, our egg yolks. We just took a fork, mashed them up. The potatoes are just simply, let's get this re-situated for you guys here. So you can take a look here. Okay, so.
In the middle of the egg.
The potatoes are simply cut to a southern style, which is just simply this cut here. You just simply cut your potatoes like this for your potato salad. Because like I said, we're doing a big barbecue potato salad, some corn on the cob. This is really delicious. This is just simply dried parsley, dried basil, a little bit of seasoning salt, and some olive oil. Tossed that up in the pan and roasted it 475 degrees on the barbecue grill in a stainless steel roasting pan, so that it didn't burn to the grill, and you know that's a big mess. And it allows you to do small things on your grill. So we're going to put those back in the fridge to continue chilling, and we're going to start putting together our potato salad. So I've already got the eggs all pre-done up and everything else, so we're good there. We're working on some just succulent barbecued ribs. These things are just going to be absolutely delicious, and we'll give you some first-hand experience, first-hand testimonies to that a little later on when everybody else joins us for dinner. So, we're also going to put together the barbecue sauce for that. Got an empty bowl over here. We're going to be using some of that with some other ingredients here in just a minute. So, let me go ahead and grab, and I actually use Miracle Whip because it's got 1/3 the fat of regular mayonnaise. And sorry, I'm going to bob in and out of the camera view here, just bear with me. Hopefully sometime in the near future we'll get into a bigger house with a bigger kitchen and we won't have that problem. But for now we do.
Are you making this so it go on the TV?
Kinda. Okay. So.
Mustard. You always want to use mustard for this.
We've got
butter,
French's mustard, and Kraft Miracle Whip. It'll actually give it a little bit of a tang, along with those seasonings. Oh, and I also put some black pepper on those potatoes. And they roasted at 475 degrees on the grill, as I said, for approximately 25 minutes, I'd say.
yeah.
Kind of speeds it up, and they get a little bit of smokiness from the grill, from everything else that's cooked on it and whatnot. So, okay. Over here in my drawer here, we're going to grab a tablespoon. I know this is the most confusing thing ever, right? Everybody says, tablespoon this, tablespoon that. Well, here's how I measure out my tablespoons, okay? I just do large scoops. For what I'm cooking, it's 6 large potatoes and 1, 2, 3. We're going to go ahead and add a 4th scoop. So we're going to add 4 scoops to that. Now we're just going to set this off to the side because we may need some later. As always, you want to taste your recipes as you're working on them, and you know, you can tweak it, or if something comes to mind while you're making it, you can always add to it. You can always change up mine, and you know, I welcome recommendations and anything else. You know, suggestions, comments are always appreciated and whatnot. So, French's mustard. We're just going to bring the bowl over here because I just kind of eyeball it. That's how I cook. So, let's see here. Get you a good view of the camera there. Let's turn you down a little bit here. Okay, where do we need to go here? Ouch. Okay, there we go. But here we go in with the mustard. I'd say that's good. I'd guesstimate that to be a 1/4 cup. I could be wrong, but you see how much is there. Just kind of eyeball it. Mustard's pretty strong, keep that in mind. We're going to mix this up. And we're just going to do the whole base right here for you guys. This is the whole base of the sauce here. And normally I would mix this up in a smaller bowl and then put it in the potato salad itself, but we're just going to do it this way for you guys tonight.
Ooh, sorry.
Sorry, I got kids in the kitchen. Come on, guys.
May I see
You
it?
can say hello to everybody later. For now.
May I see it?
No, for now I need you to go. Come on. Come on.
The mixture.
Right now I just need you to go. Okay, it's gonna look a little rough. Usually does. If you want it to look less rough than this, you just simply break down the egg yolks some more. And I'm actually gonna add another scoop of the Miracle Whip because I like mine to look lighter. And just a half another scoop, just like that. Okay. Now we're gonna mix this up real well. You can always tell by the color, you know. Just if you buy the store-bought potato salads and you really like how one of them tastes, just you know, you can use mayonnaise for this too.
May I mix, Daddy?
Just eyeball the color of it and you know get it to the color you want, and then you know of course taste it. You can always put more in it later, change it up, whatnot.
Daddy, may I mix it?
Okay, so
May I do some mixing?
we've got the base mixed up for you now here, and I think that looks good for me. So we're gonna put this off to the side now. And the way I've always done it is we do egg whites in it.
Yeah, egg whites in it.
So I'm gonna chase my kids out of the kitchen here. Go on. And
Don't forget to do
I'm
that.
gonna pan you over to the cutting board here. So let's see here. Okay, that should give you a pretty good view.
Daddy,
Here's the egg whites, and we're just gonna take a couple of these, you know. And one of the best ways, you know, save time on cutting stuff is just to kind of pile it up, because it doesn't need to look too fancy. They're not gonna hardly see it. They're only gonna taste a little bit of it and whatnot, you know. Unless you want to do something for presentation on top, which you can always do. My mom used to make it that way. She would take some of the eggs and just slice them all into rings, and then with the yolk in it, she'd slice it in rings and then cover that on top with some paprika. We're just going to run the knife through this because not a whole lot of the people I'm serving are big on the egg white. They like it because it's kind of traditional to a potato salad. It doesn't quite taste the same without it. So we're just going to run our knife through this real quick. Here. And just kind of get some fine chopped up bits of egg white in there. Because that's how my group likes it. If you like large chunks, you know, however you like it, go for it. It's not going to change too much based on the size of the chunks of your egg white. Or if you don't like egg white in there at all, don't put it in. That's the best part about making your own food, the home cooked foods and everything else. I don't think there's anybody in the world that can't cook. Even the people that burn water. I know, you're like, what? Burn water? Impossible. No, trust me, I've met some people who can literally
May I mix, Daddy?
burn water. They simply just cannot cook. But even them, I think with a little instruction, a little help, they can all cook.
May I mix, Daddy?
I don't think anybody's hopeless. So if you're sitting there watching this going, oh man, I could never do that. Yeah, you can. If you don't think you can, if you need some help, whatever, shoot me an email. I got Skype, I got all kinds of stuff. Just shoot me an email. We'll see what we can do. Okay, peeling an onion, easiest way. I love doing it this way. Chop off the top, chop off the bottom. Don't drop your onion. And then take and just cut a slit in it, just like this. Just run your knife right through that first layer there. And then just peel off that top layer of onion. Or if it goes like that, you can just take the whole thing with you. Right there. Then you got nice, good, fresh onion on the bottom there. Just toss that all away. Grab a paper towel here. And just kind of wipe off our knife a little bit. Wipe down our area just a tad here. Not too big a deal because we're cutting onion on it. And it's all going in the same place anyway. If you were doing it in different dishes and you didn't want a specific thing in there, then make sure you wash your knife and your cutting board down real good. But because this is all going into the same dish, we're not going to worry about, cross-mixing those flavors. If it was a food contamination issue, then, we definitely make sure we took care of that. But for this, there's just no big deal to it. So we're just going to make some nice slits there and there, like this, just every so often. Just kind of a nice little cube size, whatever size onion chunks you like in there. Or if you like slivers, do slivers. But if you like the cubed onions, kind of like a julienne or cubed type slice to it, you just run your knife in a pattern and it should look like a big crossword puzzle or tic-tac-toe board or something like that. Anyway, especially if you got a nice flat edge on it. If you got a nice flat edge on it like this, then it really helps. And make sure your knife is sharp. The number one cause of injuries in the kitchen is dull knives. Stop moving my camera. Sorry about that. Kids, curiosity. What can I say? Okay, so now that that's done, all you gotta do is just simply, see if we can get this lined up pretty good. Just like this. Look at that. Beautiful little chopped onions. Just like that. Like I said, we don't need a whole lot. And if your knife didn't go through, don't panic, it's no big deal. You can always just kind of, there's some nice little plant line patterns on there, you can just kind of do it like that. And not that it really matter because you can always just and do it like that. But if you try to slice it one way and slice it the other way and then slice it back the other way, it consumes a lot of time and onions are pretty soft, so you can just do it that way. Picked that trick up from several TV chefs actually. To name a couple, Bobby Flay, Emeril Lagasse, Alton Brown, which, by the way, those guys are just, I've never personally met them, but from their cooking shows and everything that, I've seen, heard, and read about them. Spectacular chefs, amazing guys. Obviously inspiration to many.
Daddy, may I mix for you once you got all the ingredients in?
And we're just going to scrape that into our bowl there. And then we are going to get into the fridge here and grab out some pickles. And if you buy them speared or however you want to, it can save you some time, or you can just buy them whole, cut them however you want to.
Daddy, I don't like pickle.
Again,
I don't like pickle.
A lot of people I'm cooking for don't like pickle a whole lot, but it kind of brings the dish together and gives a traditional flavor to it. So we're just going to use a couple of these large suckers here. We're going to pop the lid on that and put that back in the fridge real quick.
Pickles? My pickles? I want some pickles. So he's going to chop those up and put them into here.
And then we're just going to make a slice, and we're going to slice each one of these in half.
And then put it in here and then make
just like this. I hope you guys can see that okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we're just going to take and we're going to just cut this all up like this. And always make sure you keep your fingers back, and anything that'll allow you to, make sure you keep these knuckles down against the food. That'll keep you from cutting yourself most of the time. Just be really careful, especially with foods like pickles that are a little wobbly and whatnot. But again, having your knives completely sharp will also help avoid cuts in the kitchen, because a sharp knife will go right through anything and you don't have to give that extra force, because it's when you give that extra force that you end up with that problem. We're just going to kind of chop this down a little more, make a little more fine chops. People don't like large chunks of pickle, or at least people that I'm serving, they don't like large chunks of pickle. If you got pickle eaters and you go through a couple gallons of pickles a month, well, then by all means, leave the pickles as large as you want. Again, personalizing any recipe can just make it that much more delicious, and tells your guests, hey, look, I spent the time personalizing this for you, and I know you. If you know how your guests like your food, it says that you actually know them.
Daddy, may I mix
Like I said earlier, food isn't just about getting in the kitchen and heating up meats and cheeses or vegetables, or throwing salt, pepper, and other seasonings and spices into it. That's not, There's a lot more to food than just that. And once you learn that, you're set. Okay, so there's the complete base to our potato salad. Normally at this point I would season it, but like I said, we're cooling the potatoes and then we're going to throw the potatoes into the mix. So I'm just going to mix that up real nice like. And then we're going to move on to the barbecue sauce here, and we're going to let the potatoes cool some more. And I'll have to wash the pan here in a minute. And then after that we'll cut again, and we'll get back to some of the enjoying of the food, because for the most part it's just going to be really simple. Although I do want to show you this real quick before we go anywhere else. Hello there. Okay, there you go. Okay, so here we took our ribs out and we threw them on the grill just real quick. So let me turn the camera and make sure you guys are getting a good view of that. So we just took these out, and yeah, they're still completely raw, but what we did was we just took them on there to get some nice char, because again we're going to be using that roasting pan technique I was talking about for your grill, and we're going to roast those suckers in there for some time, and they're just going to fall off the bone. Alright, so I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. Thank you.